I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're taking a look at the charming world of The Adventures of Sleepy the Doorstopper. Sleepy gets a mommy in a home. It's written by a wonderful author. Her name is Arlene Redick. This delightful children's book tells the story of Sleepy, a lovable sloth who embarks on an adventure from China to the United States, learning valuable lessons about love, safety, and friendship. Join us right now as we explore how Arlene's personal journey inspired this heartwarming tale. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Arlene, great to see you here today.
Thank you, Logan.
My pleasure. Great to have you on the show. Tell us what inspired you to turn Sleepy's Instagram adventures into a children's book.
Well, when I first bought him, I bought him as a doorstopper, but I had him on Instagram doing funny things, and so 3 people told me I should write a book.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to write a book. I always thought, how does the writer get all his thoughts on a page, and then it's pages and pages and pages, and then eventually the book is finished. So one evening I just decided, well, maybe I would just pull out my notebook and start. I had pictures already made, and that's how my story started.
Wonderful, wonderful. So when you started posting pictures on Instagram of your sloth in different positions and doing different things, it really captured people's imaginations, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great. Where did you first get Sleepy?
I bought them in a store.
Yeah, okay. Near you, or did you
Do you
travel
want
to
to know
get?
the store? I bought them in
Okay. And well, that's
Kohl's
good.
department store, and
He's taken on a life of his own. That's for sure. And
it
so
was
in the book, what's the story you tell? What are Sleepy's adventures?
Sleepy's adventure starts at he remembers being packed in a box, and then he gets taken out of the box with about several others. It's on a table, and then one day he's finally the only one there on that table, and he's scared to death. He doesn't, he doesn't know what to do. And then I walk past and I pick him up and look him over, and then I put him back down and walked away.
Hmm.
And then I was with my sister. This is all a true story. I was with my sister, and she said, "Where's the sloth?" I said, "Ah." She said, "Go back and get him." So I went back and got him. And I said, I said to him, "Do you want to come home with me?" Of course, he didn't respond, but in my mind, he did. And so then I just, just he's the one that's talking in the book. He's telling me he's telling the reader his thoughts.
Hmm.
So I brought him in the house, and I told him he was going to sit at the floor of the door and hold it open.
Wonderful.
And that was 2 months. And then I started making him do funny things on Instagram.
What are some of the funny things you had him do?
Um, well, I had him eating noodles,
Hmm.
and it's all over his face. I always made sure he kept clean. I have him in the book. I have him eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Um, After he was taken away from the door, he's standing on his head because he feels free. I have him playing with Mega Blocks in the playroom. Can I show it?
Sure. Hold it up a little higher. Oh, that's great. Yep. I
Yeah,
see him there with the mega blocks.
yeah. And just getting in all kinds of mischief. He's very curious. He wants to see what's going on. He gets stuck in boxes, and then uh, in the book I say he says I had to call mommy because I got stuck. So he's He's always busy.
Yeah. Are there any messages that you hope young readers take away from Sleepy's journey?
Well, Sleepy learns that mommy does care for him and that she does she knows what's best for him.
Yeah.
So he loves candy. In the book, I mentioned he loves candy, but mommy said he can only eat candy after he eats his food.
Mm.
So, of course, I posted him on Instagram, gradual pictures of finishing his food and then he gets his candy. And my mind's a blank right now.
That's okay. Are you thinking about writing any other books about Sleepy? Are you going to continue his
I
adventures?
would love to write a sequel. Um, it's money.
Yeah. Well, we'll see
And
how this book does. If this book does good, then
yeah,
perhaps it'll take on a life.
I think I was in my late 30s when I thought about in the magazine, like the years ago, there used to be like a 3 by 5
Mhm.
square. Would you like to write a children's book? And then you just filled in your name and address. And
Yeah.
every time I bought a magazine, I would look at that. I mentioned it to my husband, but he wasn't for it. So I just put it aside. I just decided not to bother,
Mhm.
because
Yeah, well, we're glad you finally did it. And you
yes,
didn't need to even respond to that little advertisement in the paper or the magazine because you took it upon yourself to write this book. And I think it's a great book. And have you envisioned Sleepy's Adventures perhaps as an animated series or a little movie or something? I mean, Disney could use some new ideas.
well, I was called by some company. That's what they wanted to do.
Mhm.
But for now, I just put that aside. Right now, I'm
Okay,
having there is the publisher did a audio book. No, did
okay,
a ebook, and I'm waiting for the audio book to get finished for the blind and people who can't see very well.
great.
So I'm waiting for that to be finished.
Wonderful. So it'll be available in multiple formats. That makes it very, very accessible. Have you had the opportunity to read this book to any children?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about that. How did that go?
Well, I read it to my granddaughter, and just last week, 2 weeks ago, I had some of my friends come over, and my granddaughter and her friend were there, and they read the book, and
Mhm.
everybody laughed, everybody loved it. And previously, before that, I had two other women come over, and I really didn't have any intentions of reading the book, but I said, I'm
Mhm.
going to entertain you for 10 or 15 minutes. So I pulled my book out, and they, well, Reenie, my friends call me Reenie. What's that? I said, well, I wrote a book, and I showed them my book.
Right.
And so I gave them each a copy, and they read the book with me. And when I was done, they said, "Oh, I wanted the story to go on and on and on." And I
Ah.
said, "Well, I might write a sequel because in one of my pages in the book, Sleepy says he's looking out the window and he says, someday mommy says we'll go outside."
Mm.
So I'd like to do a book where he's outside. I already have pictures taken of him in the playground, um, at the flowers, different things.
Amazing. How
So
many Instagram followers does Sleepy have?
uh, I would say under 50. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, we'll have to get more. Hopefully,
yeah.
more will follow Sleepy's adventures on Instagram because I think it's a great idea. Before we leave you today, you've got important work to do, which is you got to tell us about your granddaughter, how old she is, what's her name, and all of that.
My granddaughter is 10, and her name is Kyla. And the publisher rated the book for 3 months old to 12 years old.
Right.
So she didn't have any trouble reading it because she's super, super, super smart.
Yeah.
And she she rides horses, and she's in a lot of things. She does really well in school, and she loves a Grammy, of course. She always asks me how's Sleepy. When I don't bring him over, she said, "Where's Sleepy?" Oh, I didn't bring him, Kyla. So
That's funny.
we're very close.
Well, you sounds like you're blessed with a beautiful granddaughter there who's super smart, just like her grandma, which is
Oh,
great. And I'm
thank
sure
you.
talented as well. The name of the book we've been talking about today is The Adventures of Sleepy the Doorstopper. Sleepy gets a mommy and a home. It's a great story. It was born out of Instagram posts. Arlene Redick bought Sleepy at her local Kohl's, brought it home, and then just started posing it around in different places and found that it really captured people's imaginations. And so she took those posts and turned them into a wonderful children's storybook. You'll love it as well if you're a parent out there. Arlene, thanks so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
You're welcome. It's been my
Appreciate your
pleasure.
time.
Been
And
my
my
pleasure.
pleasure. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.